German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock has arrived in Syria following President Bashar al-Assad's removal from power. She and her French counterpart, Jean-Noël Barrot, will represent the European Union in talks with the new transitional government and its Islamist rebel leader, Ahmed al-Sharaa. Ms. Baerbock is expected to outline the EU's conditions for resuming relations with Syria. DW political correspondent Matthew Moore can talk us through this. Welcome, Matthew. So what can we expect from this visit?
Well, that's right, Phil. This is an unannounced visit, actually, and the first visit by European foreign ministers since the sudden events in Syria 4 weeks ago. And Annalena Baerbock, the German foreign minister, and her French counterpart, Barrot, will hold the first talks with the Syrian ruler, Ahmed al-Sharaa, the de facto ruler of Syria and the head of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. And she's also going to be meeting civil society groups in the course of the day. But of course, the main focus of the visit is that meeting with al-Sharaa. And she says that the focus will be basically sending a message that a new chapter in EU-Syrian relations is possible. And she said, quote, travelling with an outstretched hand, but with clear expectations of the new rulers. And she gave us a sense of what those expectations are. Those are equal rights for men and women, protections for ethnic minority groups in this new Syria, she said. She said it was important that justice for the crimes of the past was seen to be done. And she also mentioned that there cannot be acts of revenge against entire populations. There must be, quote, no place for extremism and radical groups. That must be our common goal. So that's the message that she's bringing with her to Damascus today.
The EU still has sanctions on Syria, which it imposed during the Assad regime. It still designates HTS as a terror group. Is that expected to change?
That's right. I mean, the HTS is still designated a terror group, and that means it's subject to asset freezes, travel bans, arms embargoes, etc. And I think the subtext of today's visit is that although there's no plan to change that at the moment, that there is a willingness to at least discuss with HTS. And Annalena Baerbock, in her statement before she arrived in Damascus this morning, she said, you know, we know where the ideology of this group, we know where they come from, but we appreciate, and she said, that we see and hear the desire and understanding for moderation. And I think the sense is that there is a willingness to work with HTS, but she really wanted to stress in this statement that they will be judged by their actions. And so I think that there's no change to that designation at the moment, but sense that a subtext, if you read between the lines, that there's room there for talks.
Germany is home to around 1 million Syrians. What role does the country hope to play in Syria's future?
Well, that was one of the things that we heard over and over here in Germany after the fall of Bashar al-Assad, was this yearning for peace and normality back home. And I think that message is heard loud and clear by German political leaders. And they want to be a force for peace in the region, and they see this as an opportunity to help basically return Syria to that kind of stability. But it's also interesting that Annalena Baerbock mentioned that the issue of security in Syria is so intertwined with the security in Europe and Germany. And so I think there's two issues really there, that Germany sees itself as basically looking out for trying to be a force for peace and stability in the region, but also interested in making sure that Europe and Germany itself is also secure because of the concerns that security here can be threatened by instability in the Middle East.
Thank you, Matthew. DW political correspondent Matthew Moore.